Okay, everyone, I wanted to do this video for the Ronald McNutt disappearance that we covered on November 22nd of 2019 because I thought it needed a little more explanation that could not be done with just audio. So I thought we needed to do some video to further explain some of the things that came up in my interview with Leslie. Right now, what you are looking at is, of course, Google Maps. And this is the path that Ronald or somebody would have taken from Corning, which is down here. Excuse me, I just hit the just hit the tripod. I knew that was going to happen. Corning is right here. And just so you know, let me maybe expand this out a little bit to help you out, so you can understand. Is this going to go along with me or not? So there you go. You can see where Corning is. It's up there, very close. I mean, we think that San Francisco is in Northern California. Corning is even more north than that. And then you see how close it is to Oregon. And so I'll zoom this back in again to that right there. So that's where Corning is. And the blue line is the most likely route that Ronald or somebody would have taken to get from Corning up to Etna Summit, which is up here. You can see how this kind of curves around. The blue line goes up and then makes this hook to go to Etna Summit, which Etna Summit, as you would predict, is some sort of mountain up in that area. As you can see from this, and as you can see right here, it's 3 hours. What that says right there is it takes 3 hours and 10 minutes to drive from Corning to this spot on Etna Summit. Now you can see, I guess, by looking at that there could be a few explanations as to why this ended up this way. Obviously, whoever was in the truck was not trying to get to Oregon, because Oregon is up here, but they were going, at that point, the opposite direction. Once again, depending on how you look at the facts that were presented in the interview. So to get to Oregon, most likely somebody would have just taken this route and kept going straight. But at some point, whoever was in the truck got up to this point and then made a left turn to the west and started going this direction. In fact, going the exact opposite direction of Oregon. So now I'm going to pull up another map, and I couldn't use the regular Google Maps to do this. I had to use Google Earth, so I'm going to switch to Google Earth there, and there you go. And I'm going to expand this out so you can kind of get a better idea of what we're talking about here. So here's Etna Summit. You can see it right there in the middle of the screen. So what would it mean is what you just saw is somebody would have been coming up this way, what you just saw, and then at some point there's a highway over here off the screen, and then whoever was in the truck looped around and came down this direction, that hook that you see from Google Maps. And this point right here, I guess, is the high point. This is what is known as Etna Summit. Now, when I zoom this in, you're going to see how curvy this road is. Look at it. It's coming up here. This line here, there's a big hook right there. There's a hook that goes right in here, and then this road comes down this way. I mean, look how it winds and winds. And I've done a Google Street View of this and have followed this road. And the way I would interpret it is this way, as you're coming from that highway that is headed to Oregon, this is you're ascending, going toward Etna Summit, and then on this side, you're going down the opposite way. All right, so this is the high point. You're gonna get over the mountain, and then it's these switchback turns, and once again, you can see how windy this road gets. Well, this is the road right here that Ronald's truck was found off of. All right, and in fact, I found the exact spot where his truck was. Now, what's interesting is that when you use Google Google Earth Pro, you can change the history. So like on Google Maps, if you just go to google.com, go to maps, you just maybe on the street views you can get some different years, but from the satellite view, you only get one choice. Whereas on Google Earth, you get multiple years going way back. And I can slide this and I can go back to 2010, 2009, 2005. And as you can tell, as you get further and further back, the quality of the image gets a little worse. And of course, this one is even in black and white. But you can see going 2004, the same thing from 2006, June 2009, etc., right up until the most recent photo, which was taken right here on in July of 2017. Now, why is this interesting? Well, you'll remember that his truck was not found until 2014, which means in all of these pictures going from 2005 up until 2012, Ronald's truck, this is the curve. See this right here in the middle of the screen? I'm going to blow it up a little bit. And you'll notice this is on the downside. This is on the west side of Etna Summit. This is all going downhill right here. So as you're going from right to left, so from east to west, this is all downhill. This is the curve where his truck went off the road, right here. This is it right here. Now what's interesting, this is from 2012. His truck is in there. You just can't see it. It's there. But it is covered up because of all of the trees. And trust me, I've looked. I've used, and I could use any of these pictures from 2005 up to 2017 when it was finally pulled from there. You could use any of these different pictures from these years to try to zoom in and try to find his truck. I was not able to do it. Maybe you will have better luck. Now, it's in there. Once again, it is in there. And you see how all these pictures change. But it's all of the same curve in the road. And how I found out that this was the particular curve is there was a news article that shows the picture of a tow truck. And all I did was use Google Maps and just went down this road until I found the picture that matched what the news article was showing. And it is this intersection, not intersection, but this curve right here, like this 90-degree curve. Presumably, the truck was coming from this direction. And so just so you understand this, 300 yards, once again, not 300 feet, 300 yards. The article says that the truck was found 300 yards off the road. That means that truck, 300 yards on this particular picture, is down in here somewhere. It's not up in here. It's way down in here somewhere is where the truck was found. Now, this is a picture from 2012, so this is a picture before the fire swept through in 2014, and I will show you what the difference, how much different the terrain looks. But so this is what it looked like in 2012, and once again, in this picture, even though you cannot see it, Ronald's truck is there, but it is disguised. But I think what you can tell, and something that I think is important, is look at all these trees that are so close to the road. If this truck had just been pushed off, let's say, it would have hit these first trees and not gone very far. For it to end up, once again, 300 yards, 900 feet, that's down in here somewhere. So I'm inclined to believe that this truck was traveling at a rate of speed. I'm not saying it was doing 80 miles an hour or anything like that. Even 40 miles an hour is fast. 40 miles an hour is 60 feet per second. You know, you can kind of guess what 60 feet is. You know, getting there in a second. That's still pretty fast, even though we think, you know, highway speed 70, 75 miles an hour. Well, even 40 miles an hour is fast, especially when you are going down this road and this is a steep drop off and you're going 40 miles an hour, let's say, and the truck just shoots. It's almost like Evel Knievel. And that's the only way it would ever have been able to be put gotten way down in here. Not as if it rode the terrain the whole way down, but pretty much only if it flew. I've never been there. You can do a Google map, street map, to see what I'm saying, and you will see how steep this drop-off is. In fact, let me try to show you that. You know, you can see there, kind of, by going around, that is somewhat of a decline there. You can see how much it slopes down to the road and then continues to slope down. And presumably, the truck would have been coming from this direction. So, if it is Ronald in the truck, you know, we just have to throw these things out there. Did he commit suicide? Did he just say, okay, I'm going for it and do that? Did he fall asleep at the wheel? Did something happen? Or is it something else? Could somebody set it up that the truck jetted off there? Did somebody put something on the accelerator and set it on that path with Ronald in it and went down in there? Or maybe that's not Ronald's skull at all. That is, of course, still a possibility at the point of me videoing this. Maybe somebody else had his truck and drove it off there by mistake. We just don't know. But what I'm trying to illustrate here is that this truck was not found near the road. It was found 300 yards down this slope. Once again, that would put it down in this area right here. Now, what's interesting to me, and I really want you to concentrate on this area right in here. Watch as I change from, this is a picture from 2012. Watch as we go to July of 2014. You can tell that it has been thinned out. But I don't think that the fire had swept through there. Now let me zoom up. Maybe that'll help too. I'll go back to 2012. Let me zoom out here. Okay, let's just look. You can see these valleys and everything here. So we'll go to 2014, and you can see the kind of damage. Just look in this area, like over here. Look how gray that is. That is in July of 2014, and this is 2 years early exactly. Look how much greener it is in 2012 than it is in 2014, once again, because of the fires. So we'll zoom back in on that particular area, and you can see how it's thinned out quite a bit from there to there. And this is a good comparison because this is July of 2012. This is July of 2014. Well, let me go up to 2016. Now, remember, at this point, of course, in 2014 is when the truck was actually discovered. They did not pull it out until 2017. We'll go to August 2016. Now, you will notice how it's even more thinned out in this particular area. Now, my guess, and once again, you want to go back to 2012 and then to 2016. 4 years later, look how thinned out that is. I believe it's because they thinned it out so people could get down there to check out this truck to see whose it was and everything. Even in this picture that you're looking at right now, his truck is still in there. And like I said, I've looked for it. I cannot see it. It doesn't help that the truck was burned, which means it would have turned a rust color, which is going to be very difficult to see, compared to the dirt and trees and everything else. And you also have to remember the truck, we think of pickup trucks as being large. Well, compared to this, it is very, very small. Okay, remember, not 300 yards would be down in here somewhere. So let me zoom this back out again. But you can see how, once again, how much it's thinning out. It is done between 2012 and 2016. Now, you should know, I'll go back. Here's what it looked like. Now, this picture isn't very good, once again, as technology has changed. This is what this area looked like in 2004, the year he disappeared. This is what that terrain looked like in 2004. Very, very thick, as you can tell, even with this picture that's not very clear. But as we move up, this is 2005. It's a little better picture. 2009, very nice picture there. Once again, we are to believe that if the truck went into this ravine the day that he disappeared, his truck is in there, and of course you can't see it. It's just too many trees. So once again, we move up all the same intersection, and we move up to the most recent photo from July 2017. And now let me do a 360 view for you on this. And you can see how thinned out it is. You can tell that this terrain has been a victim of a forest fire at some point. Some stuff has grown back, some has not. But I am convinced the reason this area is so thinned out compared to over here, even there, is because I believe that they went in there and thinned that out so they could get to the truck and then ultimately pull it back up. That's what I believe. I have no proof of that, but I think that makes a lot of sense, because if you look at any of these other areas, they really don't have, look, it's green, 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 and then brown, and then green again. You got a little bit of a thing going on here, but you can tell this is very different compared to the other areas that are so close to the road. And I think this is because of investigators, whoever, park rangers, whoever else that were going down in here to check Ronald's truck out, try to figure out how they were going to pull it back up. And once again, I will zoom out again so you can see exactly where that is, so you can understand this. Once again, Corning is down. Let me pull up the other video again. Here we go. We'll zoom in again. So there's Corning going north, going north, going north. At some point, like Montague or something like that, presumably if Ronald or whoever took the quickest route, this is the way it would have gone. And the area that we were looking at using Google Pro is an area that's over here. I just had to go to Etna Summit, but remember, this is on the downside, the opposite side, the west side, where his truck was found. And so let me zoom it out again. And his truck was found in one of these little, off one of these little curves right in here. So let me go to Google Earth Pro again, and maybe even zoom this out a little bit more. I don't know. Okay. So the highway goes up this way, and then this road comes, goes this way, and then this road that goes through Etna Summit goes through there, and then once again, the intersection, I keep calling it intersection, the curve where his truck was found was off this one right here. Okay, right here. And you want to check it for yourself. Of course, you can use your computer, use this video to try to match everything up so you can find it for yourself. Like I said, I started way up here at Etna Summit, and I just started taking it. I was just kind of guessing. And I just started going down using Google Street View until I got to the curve that looked like the one in the article online. And I am 100% sure that his truck was found down in this area. So I hope that helped you better understand where the truck was found, maybe also understand the difficulty